Hello everyone, welcome back to another tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you the very best strategies and tactics, or at least the most common ones, for defeating the Ender Dragon. So let's get right into it. There are a few things that you actually need to do in order to actually kill the dragon. The first of those things is to take care of these pillars. If you don't already know, each of these pillars allows the dragon to regenerate, so any damage that she takes will be permanent. Once you manage to take out all of the towers, you have to take on the dragon itself, and I will show you different strategies to take out these towers and then some strategies to take out the dragon. So let's get right into it. There are two main ways that you can take out each of these pillars. For the ones that don't have a cage on them, you can just shoot them with a bow, but if they do have a cage on them, you actually have to climb up there. Here's a little fun fact: if you hit one of these towers with a trident, it will actually destroy the tower, and if it's a Riptide trident, you can get the trident back. Okay, so for destroying the towers with cages on them, there are a few ways to do this. Obviously, you have to get up there somehow, so you usually want to pillar up. That's probably the best way to do it. And now there are two ways that you can pillar up. The first one is with water. So you can use the water by placing it down like this, and this will not work as well if something like that happens, so be wary of that. You could make a little pool in here if you wanted to out of water. The water's just there in case you fall and you don't want to take fall damage. The second and slightly more expensive way to do this is to pillar up without water but drink slow falling potion. So if you drink slow falling and the dragon manages to knock you down, you will, well, this happens. You don't take fall damage, you just kind of glide down, and this is a really useful thing to have because the dragon will also throw you across the center island as well, so these slow falling potions will give you a little bit more time to react and throw a pearl back onto the main island. Once you get up to one of the towers with a cage on them, you have to be very careful because these end crystals, when they are destroyed, they make a huge explosion, and that explosion can actually hurt quite a lot. Unfortunately, you can't just peek in through here and hit the end crystal because the hitbox of these bars actually blocks your path. So if you get rid of one of this end bar here and then go up a little bit, you can hit it. But be very careful, as I said earlier, because you're exposed a little bit here, so you want to make sure that you don't actually take damage when you destroy this thing. Once you manage to destroy all of the end crystals, the dragon will now kind of fly around blindly because it has no actual path for where it's trying to go. It just kind of flies around. Usually it flies toward the crystals so that it can regenerate, but in this case it cannot because it no longer can regenerate on them. So now it will just kind of fly around and occasionally go to here. Now there are a couple ways that you can kill the dragon now once you've destroyed the crystals. First, you can, of course, hit her with a bow, but when she's on top of this little thing here, you cannot hit her with the bow. The arrows will go right through her, so make sure that you don't do that. While she's flying around, however, you can hit her with a bow, and you can actually hit her with a trident if you actually manage to hit her. But be very careful while you're doing this, because it is possible to throw the trident into the void, and even if it has Riptide, it will not come back. When the dragon comes to this middle area here, you can actually hit her with a trident by throwing it, which is kind of useful. This means that if you're a little shy and you don't want to come up to the dragon while she's over there, and she just hit me really far, you can just throw a trident at her, and you won't really be at much of a risk because she's so far away. If you are a little braver, you can go ahead and grab your sword and just walk right on up to her and hit her. I mean, it's not much else to it. Just make sure that you are careful because she will not hesitate to throw you off the island, and she will also breathe her dragon's breath while she does this as well. If you didn't already know, the dragon's breath is one of the most harmful things in this game. It's really bad. It's sort of like a lingering potion, and it just stays on the ground, and if you touch it, you instantly take a lot of damage. I recommend staying in between these pillars, just sort of on the edges of it, and running around and just kind of shooting her as she goes around. Make sure you be very careful where she is at all times, because she will come up from behind and hit you, so that's usually not good. While you are fighting the dragon, you may end up having a small problem on your hands, and that is these guys, the Endermen. These guys are so very annoying. You can try your best not to look at them, but you will eventually accidentally do it at some point, and you'll also end up with a massive group of Endermen on you, and that is no fun at all. So there are a few ways that you can actually stop them from fighting you. My favorite of all these ways is iron golems. Now the iron golems will automatically attack all of the endermen in the area, which will completely take care of your enderman problem. The endermen will also sometimes drop pearls, which you can use to teleport away if you need to. Some people like to use snow golems while they fight the dragon. That also works, but they're a little bit less effective because they don't really hurt the enderman nearly as much. And they are really, really weak. These guys die very quickly. If snow golems and iron golems are a little bit too expensive for you, you can just use the pumpkin method. So what you do is you take a carved pumpkin and you put it on your head, and this way your vision will be quite hindered a lot. But there is one huge positive to this, and that's that you can look at any enderman you want, and they will not aggro on you, which means that you can kind of roam around looking at everything and you will only have to take care of the dragon. Obviously, the downside to this is that you cannot see very well at all. And you might be wondering, well, Floppy, I just won't look at the enderman. That's no big deal. It's easy. And maybe so, but to be honest with you, that's just kind of not realistic, because you will accidentally look at the enderman. I can promise you that. You will be fighting this dragon and somehow your crosshair passes over an enderman without you knowing it, and they will start attacking you from behind, and that can be really, really annoying. And there we have it. The dragon has been killed. After a little bit of throwing tridents and throwing some arrows around, we have finally done it. The dragon is dead, which is great. And if you didn't already know, the dragon drops a lot of experience. I believe she dropped something around 60 to 80 levels, but I'm not entirely sure. That's for you to find out and for me to not know entirely. Here's a little bonus tip. In order to pick up the egg, you actually have to break some blocks underneath it like this, place a torch down there, and then break this block. If you don't do that, you will not be able to pick up the egg and it will just teleport. So I hope this video helped you defeat the Ender Dragon in your world. It is a very difficult task and it can be quite overwhelming at first. If you have the ability to, bring some friends on this journey because it will not be easy, I can assure you that. So thank you so very much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Peace.